Good morning. I'm just here sitting looking out the window. Um, just a few flurries floating through the air. I want to just make sure that the roads are clear for me when I do head out. Just giving the road crews a little bit of time to work on that. I'm supposed to let up here quite shortly. I would have been out earlier, but for this, and it's I'm almost in Banff. I think I did pretty good, all things considered. I left the Calgary boundaries on Tuesday, and here it is Friday, and I'm going to end up in Banff. So I think that's pretty good for two legs. um, Actually, I did write notes. I should look at my note. Oh, let's see what I want to think about. Um, to well, at the end of every day, sometimes I almost stumble around. The bottoms of my feet have taken such a bouncing throughout the day. Used to the boots itself, I was I was concentrating on that yesterday when I'm kind of stumbling around the room here, um, almost in a drunken like state, but far from being it. Um, it was kind of like my feet without glasses, if that makes sense. Because I often do say, when I'm out in the highway, I see with my ears. Just using my ears to see what's behind me as I listen in and get a kind of visual. It's no, it's not like quite the vision of a bat or something like that or a dolphin, but you do pick up sounds, more sensitive to it. But I never really looked at it till last night about my feet. But we have lots and loads of little sensors down there that help us to keep balanced. And by the end of the day, you take your boots off, and it's almost like taking your glasses off and then trying to walk around in the dark. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody else there that's experienced such a thing, but I often do. It's sometimes feeling blind without your boots because they're on all day long. And beyond our eyes and beyond our ears, we use a lot of senses. Um, it was just strange. I kind of last night kind of thought about that, and I'm like, wow, yeah. And even today, I woke up and same kind of thing. Kind of the feet kind of not knowing what to do. They kind of stumble around awkwardly, and um, I even watched that. Was it? I guess it was the not last night, night before. Um, a gentleman was watching me walk, and as I got up in the morning, and the same kind of thing. He thought there was kind of an issue, but it really was just the pads of my feet kind of needed their boots on, and I will all stumble around sometimes, and but once the boots go on, it's boom. I'm 20/20 vision on my feet. I, I'm sorry. It's an odd thing. I just wanted to kind of point out to people. And last night, oh, I I never really got it myself until I thought about it. That yeah, that is the situation. You adapt, and the bottom of my feet adapted to my boots. But that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Um, I don't really know how to put the other one in context, but I think I'll be softer than the way I was going to explain it. But I've met a lot of people in my life, and I think well, maybe I will explain it because I think we're harsh on people, and I may use some not choice words, that I don't think I really want to use. But just to put it into perspective, because um, I don't know. I want to kind of divide it up into categories. Which categories what? Oh, I don't know if I should word it like this, but I think this is some people see the world. There's in their negativity, and I think it's a very negative outlook. And I hope nobody down the road thought of this of me. I do often say what I was going to do, or I walked across Canada, and they go crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Or I'm thinking about walk. That's crazy. They say it in a good way, you know. So that's okay. Uh, but yeah, I was just kind of. I woke up thinking this last night. Well, I'll just come out and say say these words. You got your crazy people and you got your assholes. There, I said it. Um, but I mean, that's the terminology people have given us, and I think it's more modern day. I'm going to come and talk about because I've lived long. I'm pushing 46 now, 46, and I've lived a long life, and I've seen a lot of changes, and even the way people approach things. But I think we categorize people. You know, some people they do this. Here's your crazy people, here's your assholes. That's all you got out there in the world. And that's their attitude. But I think. Oh, I don't know where I was going to go with this, but some of those crazy people have really really good reasons why they're doing things, and it might seem odd to some people that they are doing this. Significant things in their lives, and it seems outrageous and crazy. Like why would a guy jump off? Well, we have mountains here. Why would a guy jump off one of these cliffs and skydive down? That's crazy. Like, you know, um, and I think as the guy would be going up the hill, it'd be like, guess there's two ways to approach. Hey, you're crazy, or you know what? You're. I'm gonna swear here. An asshole might say this. You're a fucking crazy ass idiot to friggin' do this, right? To jump off a cliff. Um, but the person has a reasoning for it. And it might not seem crazy to them. Um, and I'm just going to get down to it because I want to get rid of the profanity and the negative and stuff because these are what people. And I am getting to a point here. You know, it's like what it all comes down to is attitude. You either have a good attitude or you have a bad attitude. You can categorize anything, anyone that you want. Put on the category. I'm gonna just notice the heater here is blowing around. That might be affecting some of the noise quality. Sorry for that. There. So, yeah, it all comes down to attitude. And, I think that's a perfect example over the last few days. And maybe it helped me to put that into perspective. Um, because I was the only one out in that highway. You know. And I think it's so out there what I was doing. And I definitely have my reasons, and they're really good. They're really good reasons. Um, and I have my objective, and it's a really good objective. Um, but I think what I'm doing, um, the worth of it, the value could be easily thrown away by you know somebody saying I'm crazy, and then on the other side of that, or even directly saying that, um, and they could be called that other word that I used earlier for saying it, but I don't think that. I went out there and I had the attitude, and it was a good positive attitude against the cold and the miserable weather that I've faced over the last, oh, well, into the fifth day today. Um, and it is, I hate, there is one word, and the greatest curse that someone can put on you is, believing that you can't, or it's too far out there. Um, I don't like inhibitors. I don't like people inhibiting for some prejudice of whatever reasoning, um, just because somebody's doing something different. You know, I think a person like that has a real attitude problem. You know, and don't be acting like that. Don't let people misinterpret you. Um, I've but let's get a little bit more to the punchline. I'm probably rambling here. It's not the way I want to really explain this, but it's back to having a good attitude and a bad attitude, and we don't have to label people like that. Just because you don't understand it, and even people saying what I've done. Well, that's crazy. Well, it's a word they chose. Um, I could choose a few words. It's profound what I've accomplished, I think. But yeah, just again to skip to the punchline here. Attitude. I was woke um, a few nights ago, one morning, um, to a RCMP officer basically announced himself, RCMP, are you okay in there? Um, Now, I think this guy had a great attitude, you know, and in my sense, I really displayed my good attitude, upbeat, positive, um, explain what I was doing, explain I was doing well, that I was well equipped, that I was prepared for this. And he went away satisfied with both of us with a good attitude and let me continue up the road. He didn't inhibit me. And like to try to have empathy for him, um, I can understand a police officer is there to not just keep people safe, but they're there to fight for our freedom as well, um, which is wonderful. We are a free country. I'm out to celebrate this as well. The freedom for me to wake up one morning and just say I'm going to go to Banff. You know, I'm going to follow that highway down that I've worked hard to help pay for in this country. It is part mine, and by all means, I have a rights to it. You know, um, the police force are out here to protect our rights. Um, as long as we don't interfere or endanger the lives of others in reaching for our goals and our potential. And I mean, it's beautiful. I'm like, as I'm thinking about it, I'm getting emotional about it. Like, what a wonderful country to have people like this. These public servants. I never asked for him to come down, check in on me. He did. See my safety, and that's wonderful. And then let me have my freedom and continue up the road. He could have had his own opinions and said, no, no, but they're out to serve us, you know. Um, and in turn, I think he had empathy for what I was out there to do. You know, I wish I would have at the time filmed when the snowplow, like he was on one side of the road, he signaled and basically went directly across to my side of the road, put his plow in front of me and stopped me. And I'm like, Okay, where's this going? This isn't. He gets out of his snowplow and walks towards me, and he says, "I respect what you're doing." And again, what a great attitude. But he's doing his job, and I wasn't inhibiting or endangering anyone. My progress was about to approach a patch where he was going to be clearing off. So he just asked me if I could move to the other side. Once I get past, and I love this, this is a real name, folks, Dead Men's Flats, that I could move back onto the other side of the road. And, the level of respect and value and appreciation of this team of workers, I mean, I'm greatly moved. And, oh, I don't even know what to say beyond that. But, I meet up with a guy in Dead Man's Flat. And he ends up buying me a chocolate milk uh, and helped me continue on my way. But, and talked for a while and joked and stuff. And, I'm always going to remember this journey just today. The from Calgary to Banff, and just the value of your attitude. Like it's just wonderful. Like a